What's going on, guys? Today, Gengar, my Focus ST, is getting some Radium goodies installed from Panda Motorworks. The PCV baffle plate and the PCV catch can. Guys, let's get right into it. Alrighty, here are the part numbers that I'm installing today. The PCV baffle plate and the PCV oil catch can. And here's a look. There's the baffle plate and there's the catch can. Alright, so for those of you that don't know, and I'll try to explain it the best I can, the reason you want to run a catch can on something, especially something that's turboed, is something called blow-by. So blow-by is when combustion particles, oil particles, gas particles, when they slip by the piston rings, they end back up in your crankcase. Then your crankcase recirculates through your PCV valve back into your intake, and that's not what you want. So basically, the catch can intercepts that, and then this plate we're putting on today, the factory plate has one baffle on it. This one has two, and you'll see when we install them here in a little bit. But basically, that's why you want to run an oil catch can. So basically, from the plate, we're running a line from the plate to the catch can, and then a line from the catch can to the back to the intake. So basically, we're setting that catch can in between, so it can return just air back into the intake system rather than all that oily particle from the cylinder walls that have got back past the piston rings down into the crankcase. And then every once in a while, you'll just unscrew this catch can and you'll empty it. Like I said, I'm no expert on the PVC valve and the gases and stuff, but I just know you don't want all that stuff re-entering back into your intake, and it keeps your engine healthier and makes it last longer, and it keeps your oil clean and all that stuff. For a more, and I'm gonna be honest with you, for a better explanation, you might want to Google it. But that's just the best I could come up with that I could explain to you all. But with that being said, guys, let's get this job started. So to install the Radium PCV plate and catch can, it is required that you have a Symposer delete. And cool enough, I already have the Radium Symposer delete. Guys, if you ain't seen that video, I'll link it right here. Obviously, Radium makes pretty awesome products, so why not just have everything Radium in the engine bay? Speaking of these parts, guys, if y'all are needing anything for your Focus ST or anything else, visit www.pandamotorworks.com. Use code BLEWIS to save yourself some money on this stuff, just like I did. Huge shout out to the guys at Panda Motorworks. You all are awesome. So guys, with that being said, there's some stuff that I'm going to do before we get started underneath the hood. So I'm going to set the camera up and let's get it going. All right. So some of this stuff come with the catch can. Some of this come with the plate, the baffle plate. So I put everything over here that come with the baffle plate. And then everything that come with the catch can, I put it over here. I think some of this stuff isn't going to be used because some of it kind of intercepts each other. And so, like for example, I got this long hose with the catch can. And the instructions say to cut this thing right in half. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So then the hose we got from the baffle plate itself, I don't even think it'll be used. But I'm going to keep it on deck anyways. So we're going to try to get this about as level as we can. I'm going to use my cutters to get a decent cut there. Alright, I was being a little bit picky, but I finally got a good cut on those. I kind of trimmed them down and straightened them up. Still not perfect, but better than that first cut that I made. All right, next thing I'm going to do is install this, these onto the baffle plate. So you've got it, if you're looking at the front, this side gets the plug, this side gets the valve with the lip on it. So got a little bit of oil right here. I'm going to kind of lightly lube up this gasket. Screw that on to the baffle plate itself. Let's see here. This is a 3/8 Allen head. So when you're tightening it down, tighten it till you can't see the O-ring anymore. You should be good to go. Now this one goes in the other hole. So again, let's give that gasket some little bit of light oil coating here. And then this. Screws in right here. I didn't check socket size on this, so I think I'm just going to use an adjustable wrench on this. And I'm just going to kind of move carefully because I don't want to scratch this up. All right, got the block installed. Got this installed. Everything looks fine. So I'm going to kind of wipe the oil I got on this off. Man, it's a shame that sits behind the intake, guys, because look how beautiful that is. So I am going to reuse the gasket off of the factory plate. Sorry, I rocked the cart there. There's a gasket that goes here. We'll get to that later on in the install. But for now, I'm going to set this to the side. And now moving on to the catch can. So the catch can come with these. The one that says Radium on it, it's going to go in the top at a later part of this install. But for now, we're just going to install the one on the side here. Again, we're going to lube this O-ring up with some oil. And then I'm going to go ahead and screw it on. Guys, if you see random water droplets, it's very humid here in Kentucky. And I'm used to working in a shop with some AC now. Our new location at the dealership's got us spoiled. Back in, I think since 2017, we've had air. Before we didn't. But I tell you, man, working in the AC, it gets you. I'm going to have to get some air here in the garage at home eventually. All right, I got that real snug. I'm not sure the spec on that, but I just snugged it down pretty good. And I did put a light scratch on it right there, but you ain't gonna be able to tell, especially with when the hoses get installed and stuff. So for now, I'm gonna set this to the side. And like I said, this will go on at a later point in the installation. It looks like this just gets put on with an Allen head, so we'll put that to the side for now. And now we're going to install these. So these go on to both ends of these. And then these actually screw on the catch can themselves. One goes up top, The other one goes on the side port I just installed on the catch can. So I'm going to kind of see how hard it is to get these in here. And I might end up having to yeah, I see why they recommend a heat gun now. So guys, they recommend to heat this hose up because there's 2 barb fittings on here, and it was harder to get that hose on than I thought. So I think I'm actually going to take a heat gun to this next one, and I may even put some oil on these barbs to get that nice and lubed up. And then we'll take the other, because I'm probably going to have to reheat that to stretch it back out, but so what I'm doing to this hose, I'm heating it up so it stretches a little better. Because, and then once it cools down, it'll really wrap around those barb fittings, and that ain't coming back off. Alright, let's see if that made it any easier. Oh yeah, a ton easier. I wish I would have done that on the first one. So slide it all the way down till it's flush against that. And then like I said, I'm going to set this to the side. Once this cools down, it's going to be really tight around those 2 barbs. So I think to be on the safe side, I'm going to take my first one that I tried to put on by hand. Even though some videos I watched told me not to try that. So we're going to heat this barb up, or this hose up, so it slides on this bar a lot easier. Oh yeah, guys, don't be silly. Use the heat gun. Now we're flush on there. It's looking good. So yeah, do not try to put this on with just your hand. Heat this hose up, put a little bit of oil on these barbs, and this thing slides right on. Well, I forgot a very important step for this plate, and I kind of wish I would have did it before I put these on, but oh well, it's not a big deal. Installing these baffles. So they go just like this. And I'm going to, these Allen heads are really small. They're actually a 2 Allen head. That's what size they are. Where did my thing go? Oh, right here. They're actually a 2. I didn't know I had a 2 Allen head, but that's how small these are. So I'm going to attempt to put some thread locker on these so I don't have to worry about it coming off. Also, guys, if my instructional video is not that great, you can visit Radium's website. You can download a full set of instructions on their website free of charge. So I thought that was pretty awesome from Radium. Or you could just stick around with me and watch me do it probably the hard way. Alright, so I put some blue thread locker in each of these holes. I was going to put it on the little Allen head bolts themselves, but they're just too small to handle, so these plates go on just like so. Alright, feels tight. Like I said, I did use the thread locker. So, alright guys, I think that's all for the prep that we can do. And let's go ahead and let's get under the engine bay. Alright guys, like I said, we got all the prep work done. If y'all are enjoying this video so far, do me a favor, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Guys, subbing helps me out more than anything. But with that being said, it's time to get under the engine bay and let's just get this tackled. Now, you might notice I have my car on jack stands. I don't think you have to lift the car up, but just in case I needed to get under and get something off the bottom of the intake, I just jacked it up. And I also jacked it up so I wasn't leaning over too far and hurt my back after a while, because this intake does have to come off. But, alright guys, let's get under the hood and let's start taking some stuff off. Step number one is going to be to get this engine cover. There's 4 things that holds this on. I'm going to set this out of the way. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, there's a connector right here. You just squeeze and unplug it to the map sensor right there. This AC line's right here in the way. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a pocket screwdriver, kind of get these off without breaking them. Okay, got that off. Get this evap line. So these little tabs, you just spread them apart and they pop right off. Now I'm right in here trying to get this evap line off. These white things right here. See if I can get it focused on that. It's kind of a tight fit, but you kind of spread this one and then the other one on the other side, and this line pops off. I'm gonna set y'all back up here and just kind of try to get it done. Kind of a tight fit with my big hands. Remember guys, when taking like connectors off and lines and clips, take your time, because you don't want to rush it. You don't want to hulk and break stuff off, and then when you're going back together, stuff just doesn't look like it should. And if you're pretty particular, you're going to want your stuff to look good. So guys, take your time, undo these clips right. This clip right here I'm having trouble with, so I'm trying to get a pick in here. Alright, that was kind of a pain, but what you do is you spread these apart and pull this out, and then that comes out of the bottom, and then there's another set of those that come out the top, and then this thing will come off. I would show you the top clip, but it fell somewhere and I can't see where it went, so I'm just going to look for it after the intake comes off. But with that being said, move this back line back here out of the way. And then down here at the bottom, just show you what I got going on so far. Everything I have disconnected so far. So I'm gonna put the light right here. I've disconnected this. If you come around this was on the back of the intake, held in with those two clips right there. I used a clip removal tool, got that off from the back of the intake, and then unhooked these two harnesses here, this one from here, and this one from under there somewhere. Can't remember exactly where, but anyways, unhook these. We'll lay them back there out of the way. Now there is a, move the light back over here. Now there is this hose clamp that goes on the bottom charge pipe. That is a 7mm, I believe. I'm gonna get that, and then all these intake bolts, and then we're gonna see where we are from there. Oh, and I just couldn't figure out where that second clip went a while ago, but because this tag was covering it up. That second clip right here from these two a while ago, that clip went right to that. So, alright guys, let's get this bottom charge pipe off and let's start getting the bolts out of this intake. 7mm. Alright, I got that bottom 7mm undone and the clamp is loose. So now we're going to get started with these intake bolts, and these are 10mm. Here's what it looks like without the intake. This is that PVC hose you have to squeeze and pull off. There was that other connector that was just connected with the tab on the back of the intake. Kind of push that out of the way. And then here was the throttle body connector. You pull this red tab out and then you squeeze down on this black tab to pull it out. I'm going to shove it down in here. So what we're replacing is this plate right here. It's held in with a few 7 or 8mm, it looks like. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put tape over this so nothing gets down in here, and I'm gonna stick a rag over this, and then we're gonna get this plate off. All right, each one of these bolts on this plate is 8mm. So we're gonna get this plate out of here. So I'll angle you all the best way I can. So you will reuse this gasket off of this plate. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this in. And guys, don't worry, there's only one way this can go in. Just go ahead and put this in and get it out of the way so I can show you all the differences in these plates. Alright, so that's in. So here is the radium plate. Notice how it's got 2 baffles on it, and then this is made out of a nice material. This factory one is plastic and it only has 1 baffle, and you can see that 1 baffle isn't doing a good job of holding the oil down. So I think this radium is going to turn out a lot nicer. So what we're going to need to do next, we're going to have to reuse this PVC, this connects on the back of the intake, and we're going to have to reuse this. So again, we're going to need our heat gun. We're going to heat this portion up, pull this off, and then we're going to take one of our prepped hoses from earlier and we're going to put this in the end of this. All right, got that out. And guys, be careful because that heats up pretty quick. That was actually melting this plastic hose, so good thing we don't need that for anything. So say goodbye to the factory PCV baffle plate. We're going to lay this to the side and we're going to continue on with our new Radium. Alright, so when you're putting this on, you want to make sure, see how this is faced up like this? The way this goes on the side of the can, this is going to rotate around and plug into the back of the intake. So what you want is you want these to line up just like this. So they're both facing up. So before I heat this hose up, I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and get one of our clamps that was provided by Radium. I'm going to squeeze this down, slide it on. And then now I'm going to heat this hose up. And I'm not going to need to put any oil on this one. This already has a little bit of oil on it. So we're going to heat this up and get this installed. Alright, finally got this hose ready. Now we can line up where the catch can bracket's going to go. And it's going to go just like this. This is how it's going to sit. But to get this done, this has to be removed. And then I think this gets relocated. This screw or this bolt has to come out. And then this is already in an open hole. If you got the factory air box, this is going to be covered up. You'll have to remove that flap, but I got an aftermarket engine, so this part's exposed. And then, yeah, so this will sit in here like this. So I'm going to set the camera up and I'm going to get started on this. Real quick before we move on, I want to show you this is that bolt that we took out, and then this goes under here, and then this goes right here. It goes behind so you can screw it in here, goes underneath this tab so you can screw it in here, and then I'm assuming this just gets relocated right here. It's just a little push tab thing. See if I can't get a little bit of light. Yeah, this tab right here, I'm just going to relocate that there, and hopefully that will be okay. So, all right. We'll set the camera up and figure out what we need to do next. So again, some more stuff I'm changing. I relocated this down here like this, but then this got in the way of the catch can. So Radium provided 2 zip ties. I think I'm going to zip tie this right here like this in a minute. And then when I put the catch can in right here, it was interfering with this down here. So I just took and I gently bent this bracket up so that this could go in here and it would clear all of that stuff down there. So just some notes if y'all are on a Focus ST. The video I watched to kind of guide me through this was on a Focus RS. So if you're on a ST, just make note of what I just showed you. Alright, to prevent any messes, I went ahead and I laid some blue thread lock on this plastic. And let me see here. I got one of my small Allens in. I'm going to position the catch can, put a little thread locker on. Alright guys, catch can is installed. I'll show you a little bit of a clearer look. And yeah guys, I'm really liking the way this is all looking so far. Alright guys, so I was really confused. This does go up top here, and this Allen head spins inside of here. I thought maybe this didn't go here because I kept trying to turn it and it was hitting this. but this moves freely. So you just stick this in place and tighten this down with a 4mm Allen. I did relocate this back to this side. I apologize for the confusion, guys, but this does go up top. So now I need to check the instructions out and see what I need to do next. All right, guys, if in the next clip you see me wearing different clothes, it's because I've run out of time today. Me and my wife are about to go to like a family dinner thing. So I might finish this up tonight or maybe one day this week. But regardless, if you wonder why I'm wearing different clothes in the next clip, that's why. All right, guys, it is the next day. Traded for the sweet snap-on headlight today. Ignore Mr. Jingly here. So, a couple things I wanted to go over before we move forward. So, I finally looked up the Radium instructions last night. It actually wants you to relocate this fan module right here. I didn't do that. All I did was kind of bent this bracket up, and I've already unscrewed this, and it clears all of this, no problem. So I'm going to leave this here like this, and I'm not going to relocate this. However, I did relocate this thing right here. And also, I wanted to make note, if you ever seen in any part of the video this straight port right here on top of the catch can, that was me not understanding the instructions. And so this 90-degree one goes on top. Just remember that. And then this one goes up here. Now I'm going to get this plate back on. And the hose from the top of the catch can runs to the PVC plate, and then the side of the catch can runs to the back of the intake. Guys, with that being said, I'm going to get the camera up and I'm going to start filming. I just wanted to touch on those. I didn't want anyone in any part of the video to get confused because I did have these valves switched on the can. I got confused myself installing this. So, yeah, I'm going to, like I said, we're going to put the plate on, and then we'll start running hoses and stuff. And I'll film it the best I can, but my main priority tonight is just try to, I'm ready to get this thing done. Get everything tightened. Radium plate is on. Catch can's on. I put a little hose clamp right there, and this went on the factory one. I don't know if it'll slide over this big boy or not. Oh yeah, OEM fit. Let's go. So now this screws into this, and then I'm going to run this hose down, and we're going to start putting the intake back in. Alright, sorry guys, I thought the camera was rolling. You haven't missed much though. All I've done was I hooked this side of the catch can. I put that hose to the back of the intake, plugged the throttle body in, and now I'm just trying to mess with some of these connectors, try to get them all back in the right spot where they're supposed to go. Again, sorry for the angle, you're not going to be able to see much, but if you need help, like detailed help on getting the intake on and off, there's several good tutorial videos on YouTube. Dang, I just noticed this. Somehow my washer cap got broken. Interesting. Oh well, you can't really tell. So they make some cool ones on Etsy. More Etsy parts coming soon. We will see. Alright, for those of you that have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. We're not done yet. We're on the straight stretch on the way home. Just need to hook this evac line up and a couple more connectors and we're going to be good.
Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look.
Alright guys, everything's back together, engine cover is back on, catch can looks sweet, and if when I empty it, all I have to do is reach in right through here and I can unscrew it right here and empty it, no problem. So guys, thank you so much for watching. That is where I'm going to end this long install video. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Guys, if you found any value in this video whatsoever, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. It really does help me out. Let's get to 2,500 by the end of the year. Like and share this video with your friends. Also, check everybody else's YouTube and social medias in the description box below, Instagram and TikTok. I have been posting a lot more on TikTok lately. Also, check out the Amazon affiliate links, guys. Click on anything, purchase anything at no extra cost to you. It does help the channel out. Also, guys, if you're interested in these parts or anything else, visit www.pandamotorworks.com. Use code BLewis. Guys, until next time.